This past weekend was, to put it simply, not great. I completely went off the deep end in terms of my diet and health goals and felt like I'd failed and put myself back at square one, again. Failure has a way of making everything feel heavier. One moment, you're moving forward. And the next, it feels like everything you worked for has fallen apart. But you just have to remind yourself that failure isn't the end of your story, but it's the part of the story where transformation begins. So if you've recently faced some failure, here's thoughts about how to pick yourself back up. 1. Don't go it alone. Hard times reveal who your true friends are versus who are fair weather friends. I have a tendency to isolate myself, but don't stay in that headspace. It can be hard, but find a few people you can lean on, friends, family, mentors, or even professionals who can support you. Failure doesn't mean you're weak. And pretending that you're okay doesn't mean you're strong. It's okay to let yourself be supported. 2. Separate what you controlled from what you didn't, because not everything that went wrong was in your hands. This turns failure into feedback, and feedback into power and facts that you can use to strategize for next time. 3. Remember, you've overcome hard things before. This is not the first difficult moment you've survived. It might not even be the second or third or 100th hard thing you've come up against. We've all had impossible situations before, so draw from those experiences and think about what helped you then. What mindset did you have? What strength did you show? 4. Redefine what failure means. Failure is such a negative word. But it's not always a bad thing, and actually, failure doesn't prove anything other than that you tried. Every setback carries information. Every mistake carries a lesson. When you treat failure as part of the learning process, it stops being a dead end, and becomes a stepping stone. 5. Separate yourself from the outcome. Just because something didn't work, don't take it personally. That does not mean you are a failure. It just means that that action failed or that specific plan failed. But you did not fail as a person. And that perspective shift can change everything. Literally, everything. 6. Try to put it into perspective. Sometimes this feels like a joke, or a bad therapy exercise, but just try it. Ask yourself, how do I want to remember how I handled this? Sometimes you'll realize that whatever it is you think you failed at, really isn't that big or bad or serious. 7. Assess and redirect. If something didn't work, part of taking it as constructive criticism is assessing what didn't work and evaluating if this incident opened up any new directions, doors, or opportunities. Sometimes failure isn't a stop sign, it's a redirection. 8. Allow yourself to feel it, then release it. Dealing with failure and bouncing back from it doesn't mean that you don't feel the negative emotions or even grieve the failure, because you're allowed to be disappointed. You're allowed to grieve what didn't work out. Feel the emotions. Let them move through you. Throw a temper tantrum if that's what it takes, cry, get it out. But don't build a home in them. When you're done feeling those negative feelings, forgive yourself and choose to move forward. 9. Remind yourself of the big picture. Okay, so that path didn't work. That doesn't mean the destination is wrong. One weekend of bad eating doesn't mean that my big picture health goals are wrong or impossible. Sometimes failure is just information, guiding you toward a better route. Stay focused on what you ultimately want, not just how you tried to get there. 10. Tell yourself the right story. Check your facts. Be honest about what happened, without tearing yourself down or distorting what happened out of proportion. Look at the situation clearly and drop the emotional story that says, "I'm not good enough." So I'm not sure what brought you to my video right now. What you're going through, whether it's a personal or interpersonal or career failure. Whatever you're going through, I hope this video was able to give you some encouragement.